Good day, everyone. Today, Maggie and I are going to explore how the power of mapping and cartography in ArcGIS Pro and in ArcGIS Online is transforming the way we visualize, analyze, and share spatial data. It's important to set yourself up for success so that you can work efficiently. In ArcGIS Pro 3.5, we have the ability to create custom pane sets. I have a custom pane set here called Cartography, which will open my geoprocessing, symbology, catalog, and contents panes. Since I'm familiar with the tool names on my top ribbon, I'm going to create some additional screen space by using the simplified ribbon option. I'll create even more screen space by minimizing the attribute table to the taskbar. This is a brand new feature. The attribute table is removed from the screen, but can still be easily accessed. This is starting to look great, but I want my symbology to look a little bit more realistic. Statistics Canada has a specific way that they symbolize these ocean drainage regions, which I have on my Statistics Canada symbology map. You can now copy and paste just the symbology properties from one layer to another using the Paste Properties options. We're working on flood zones, so let's take a closer look at some of the populated regions in New Brunswick. I'd like to see which rivers are intersecting with these populated regions. And with ArcGIS Pro 3.5, we can easily display this by using a new definition query spatial clause. We can easily display the populated regions here and then visualize the rivers that are intersecting with these populated regions. Now that I've filtered out my data, I want to set up my symbology. I currently have tapering enabled, but did you know that we have finite control of our symbology? If I click on the structure option over here, we're able to add symbol and layer effects. I currently have the tapered polygon effect and enclosing polygon effect enabled. These cartographic effects treat your lines as polygons. If I go back to my symbol section here, I can modify our parameters to make it look as though these rivers are tapering off based on the direction of flow. And with the new auto apply button enabled, I'm able to modify the symbology without selecting apply. Now that my data is set up, let's take a look at my layout here. We have a lot of great options to create beautiful layouts in ArcGIS Pro. Here's what I've created so far, but let's make it look a little better. I'll first start off by mentioning that this water texture layer is actually available to all of you in the Living Atlas. Next up, I'll mention our new scale bar type in the bottom left-hand corner here called Dual Scale Bar. This was introduced in ArcGIS Pro 3.5, and we actually have 8 default dual scale bar styles to choose from. Our legends are completely customizable. I can open up one of the properties here for my flood zones, and I can modify the patch size so that our flood zones stand out. I'm sure many of you have more than 5 panes open at a time, right? So there's a new feature where we actually have icons at the bottom of the panes here that correspond to the pane names, so that when you have so many panes open that you can't see the pane names, they're still easily recognizable. My layout is complete, but Maggie would like to work with my rivers layer in ArcGIS Online. So I'm going to share this with her to one of our shared groups. Maggie will notice that the definition query that I previously applied will actually appear in ArcGIS Online. I'll share it with my organization, I'll add it to one of our shared groups, and I'll publish the layer. And next up, Maggie's going to show you some cool new features in ArcGIS Online.
Thanks, Alison. ArcGIS Pro helps us to create beautiful maps, and when you publish the data to ArcGIS Online, we can bring those layers to life on the web. It's not just a cartographic tool, but it enables us to share clear and engaging content with a wider audience. Let's add that layer Alison just published to our map. It's easier than ever to find those features with the new ability to filter by folder and group when adding data in the map viewer. So I can add in those flood zones and also the rivers she just published. We can see the rivers are brought in with that definition query like Alison mentioned, and they also maintain that beautiful tapered symbology that she configured in ArcGIS Pro. We can achieve a similar effect with a new feature in ArcGIS Online for line features, where we can apply gradient symbology. We can select from a list of options like this light to dark blue, or we can customize it with the color picker, adding more life to our water features in our map. There are many areas in New Brunswick that experience flooding. I want to take a closer look here around the St. John River in Fredericton area, where I have the building footprints for any building that falls within that flood zone and is at risk of damage in a flood event. We can see this is a polygon feature, and we have thousands of polygons on this map, so it can be difficult to understand where the biggest threat is. With the latest release of ArcGIS Online, we can understand in just one click where those concerns are by enabling aggregation, something previously only possible with point features, now doable with line and polygons as well. Fredericton, the largest city in this area, is also where we experience most damage we can see, so we're going to take a closer look right there as well. Here in Fredericton, I have the stream gauges and a polygon of a major flood that's occurring. I want users in the community to be able to instantly see if there's a concern to them, so I'm going to make some changes. First, with my stream gauges, I want to modify the pop-up. Right now it's a field list, but text is easier to understand, so we can change that by using an arcade expression. Right now in ArcGIS Online in beta, there is an arcade assistant that can help us to create expressions using natural language prompts and AI. I'm going to ask it here to create a text prompt that displays the name of the river, the height of the water, the current status of the gauge, and the organization responsible for managing it. I've also asked it to set the text to red if a major flood is occurring in the area. We'll give it a second to generate that response for us, and then we can add it to our editor. There, in almost no time, we have a script that we can start to work with. This is a great tool to get us started, but we always want to make sure we double check what the AI produces for us and give it that GIS professional seal of approval. I know my data, for example, is case sensitive, so I'm going to make a quick change to the text so that things will run smoothly, and we have to test it out before we run. Looks like it's good to go, so we can add it to our pop-up. And in just a matter of seconds, we're able to have something that's a lot clearer for our users. The last thing I want to do before sharing this out is making it clear which neighborhoods are impacted by this flood, and I can do that with symbology. In the latest release of ArcGIS Online, animated symbology has been added for line and polygon features. So for any of my layers that fall underneath that flood, I want them to really stand out, and I'm going to add a flashing animation. It's going to take any spot there that overlaps, and instantly it's visible on the map where there is concern. I'm happy with how this looks, so I'm going to share it out to my community and colleagues. Something I would have had to do previously using an instant app, I can now do right inside the map viewer. With the new Create Custom Link tool, I can set up a viewing experience for anyone who I'd want to share this map with, including important information like legends and bookmarks, and I can add the option to open in the map viewer for any colleague that may need to make changes. Let's shorten up this URL, and I'm going to send it back over to Alison so that she can see the work I've been doing and make any changes she might need.
Thanks so much, Maggie. Looks like I have a new email. This new feature makes sharing your maps easy. Today, we've shown you new features in mapping and cartography in ArcGIS Pro and in Map Viewer. You can work with the same data across ArcGIS, making it easy for you to collaborate and create beautiful and impactful maps. Thank you.